Welcome to Piano for Leisure Series 4, Grade 4. This is the last one in Level 1 and it starts with an Allegro. It's again a classical piece that builds really nicely on the last classical piece we had, which was called the Castle Ball. This one again, just helping students with that beautiful flowing classical style. So again, a great one for students working on balance and phrasing and shaping and all those kinds of things. Number 2 is the second piece by Grant Arnold from Australia. It's called Tambo, Tango, and I'm going to start at bar 5. And the challenge here is we've got melody in the top fingers, and in the middle we've got some more accompaniment, so helping students be able to balance all of those. And then at bar 13 you'll see we've got some hand crossing. Great fun and really engaging music for students. Number 3 is called Let the Good Times Roll. It may be familiar to some of you by James Bastien. So if you've got a student that, like me when I was younger, loved chords and bass lines, this is the piece for them. It's a real rock and roll gem. Number 4 is called Allegro con Fuoco. It's a etude by Berens, which I learned when I was a kid, and it's a great fun piece of music. I'm cheating a little bit, but you get the idea. It's got scales, it's got runs, jumps, and it's really fun and engaging. Number 5 is called Twilight. It's by Melody Boba, and again, this doesn't have anything to do with the Twilight movie. It's really just a pop kind of sounding piece, but with the middle section taking on some almost Baroque characteristics. So here's the main theme. And then in the middle section we get this. Which again, very, very appealing for students and great for their technique too. Number 6 is a little bit of Grieg, Grandmother's Minuet. And then in the middle section has a whole lot of music in similar motion between the hands. A little bit of a challenge, but again, quite unusual, a little bit quirky. Number 7, one of the most stunning pieces in this grade book. It's called Sunday Morning by Frank Hutchens. And for this one, students are playing, it's almost a mesmerizing kind of left hand that repeats a lot of the way through. And you can actually leave the pedal down for a considerable amount of time, depending on how they're balancing it. And you'll hear bird song, you'll hear all sorts of things. Have a listen. I'd love to play the whole piece, but we don't have time today. Definitely explore that one with your students. Number 8 will be familiar to many of you. It's of course the theme from New York, New York. So just helping students understand that this isn't the melody and making sure that that balance is there will be the challenge in that piece. We have had to kind of chop it up a little bit because it's very, very long otherwise, but it still sounds great. And we've got the big slowdown section where it goes really broad and lively. Number 9 will be one that's familiar to many of you. It's Kitten and Mousin on the keys by Rollin. And number 10 is Jazz Train, and while it's got some elements of a simple kind of blues in it, it's got some fantastic changes of meter and also some really nice kind of cascading sections. Let me show you what I mean. So while you think it's going to be a pretty standard kind of blues, it's actually really, really different and so cool with those cascades and some of the chord shifts. And at the end, you get this great movement between 3/4 and 4/4, and then a big cascade to finish. So we finish with. What blues piece do you know that finishes like that? Conversely, number 11, My Old Movie Blues, is a really standard traditional 12-bar blues. It goes a little bit like this. And then to finish, we've got a little Bouree in G minor, and depending on how you want to phrase this, I know a lot of teachers will go, I've actually put a slur over the top, and that kind of interpretation is completely up to you and your student. So I hope you've enjoyed this look at grade 4, and I'll see you in level 2 when we start with grade 5.